Okay, it feels like a momentous occasion. We've been going through Jeremy Bagai's 12 rules for how to play the second role in a game of backgammon. We are on to rule 12. Was that Return of the King, Return of the Jedi, the end of the saga. And we're looking at double sixes. So, just a reminder, Jeremy Bagai, you've seen these slides if you've watched any of the other videos, has his 12 rules that he kind of go through. And for the last time, I'm just going to repeat something that is very important. There is an order of priority. So the first thing you should try and do is hit outside your inner board. If you can't do that, you should try and play your naturals. And if you're not sure what I mean by that, go to rule 2 and have a look at that. If you can't do either of those, you try to hit loose in the 5 point and the 4 point. And if you can't do any of 1, 2, or 3, well, the remaining rules cover different situations. And this video looks at the rules for double sixes, the final 12th rule. And I have great news. Double sixes are easy. And of all Jeremy Bagai's 12 rules, they're really, really straightforward. There's nothing complicated at all. And it's not going to be a long video at all. And basically with double sixes, if you can at all, what you're going to do is move 2 up from the back and 2 down to the midpoint. Sometimes called an up and down move. So you're going 2 up from the back, 2 down from the midpoint. And we do that every single time, bar 1. We come up from the back, down from the midpoint. Don't have to think about anything else. It's absolutely straightforward. And you just have that. That if you stop the video now, you've pretty much done all you need to know about double six rolls. And I have made, Jeremy Bagai just kind of gives that, I've made a couple of sub rules of my own. One is just simply, if 13 to 7 sometimes will hit a blot. If your opponent has split to their 18 point or bar point, you've left a blot and the 13-7 is going to hit it. If that happens, don't be tempted to hit again with 7 to 1. And I'll show you what I mean in a second. Stick with the default play. However, at Gammon Go, we're going to do it. So this is what I mean. Our opponent has rolled a 6-4 and played the correct move about, there's 3 correct moves obviously, but the pretty reasonable move of splitting at the back with the 6 and down with the 4. We've rolled double sixes. Well, definitely 2 of our double sixes are going to make our bar point and hit that black blot and put them on the bar. And you might look at this and thinking, oh, do you know what? We can come on in again, use the other 6 pair of sixes to hit the black spot on our 1 point, on their 24 points. We can carry that forward if you like. And again, those 2 checkers move forward another 6, and we put a second checker in the bar, and we might think we're great. But the problem with that is, yes, we've 10 checkers in the zone, so we have a pretty reasonable chances of a blitz. But black also has pretty reasonable chances of escaping. And if they do, we've just dumped 2 checkers as, completely buried them on our ace point. They're out of use for the rest of the game. So it's just too costly. So we don't do that. We put them back and leave one of the black's checkers, that blot there. We just don't care about it. It's not really that big a problem. And we just stick with the default move. The default move is to move 2 up from the back as before. So you might be, there's not much. This rule is, double 12s are easy. But it's sometimes nice to be just sure of yourself. You always play the default role. Just because you can double hit doesn't mean you have to. You don't. Just bear that in mind. There is one exception though. And you'll see that double hitting there is the second choice there is a blunder. There is one exception. If you look down the panel on the left hand side there, you'll see that the score in this match, in this match is 0-0. What if it wasn't? What if the score was 1 away, 2 away, Crawford? So we can't double, but a gammon would win us the match. So we're now at a gammon go position. So now we're looking for gammons. And in that situation, the more aggressive, riskier move is correct. And we should look, it's a 79 millipoint error, 1 millipoint away from being a blunder, not to double hit. So at gammon go, we should double hit. In normal circumstances, we don't. We just do the up and down move, the default move. I said that in every situation bar 1, that's the right move. And that's what makes it so easy. It's absolutely the right move to do that default move. Every situation bar 1. This is the 1. If our opponent has started with a 6-1, they're going to make their bar point and it blocks us. So we simply can't do this. So we need another use for a couple of sixes. So here's the situation here. Our opponent has rolled a 6-1, made their bar point. We roll our double sixes. We'll look up the top there. We can't come up from the back with two of them. They're blocked. So we're going to bring our 2 down as before. And the question is, what's the right thing to do after that? And the best thing to do, and I said there's different options here. The best thing to do is really play 2 from our 8 point onto our 2 point. Look, it leaves a blot there. We haven't just stripped our 8 point. We've broken our 8 point and left a blot in it, which isn't great. We're not delighted doing that move, but it's the best of a bad lot. And as you can see there, that's the preferred. If you look at the second choice there, you could play 4 down from our midpoint. And it's just something I've been noticing in a lot of games recently. Sometimes when your double sixes are blocked, playing 4 down from the midpoint isn't a bad thing to do at all. So beyond the second move, if you're not sure what to do, it's not a bad thing to play 4 off the midpoint if you roll double sixes. It's quite effective. And even here, look, 5 millipoints. There's nothing in it. It's a toss up which move you prefer. The final thing about double six rolls, just for my own sake, is what do you do with the doubling cube when you've rolled a double six? Because it's a great you're going to be up in the race having rolled double sixes. You're going to have a really strong, nice position. Do you double? So here's our situation where our opponent rolled, we rolled our double sixes, our opponent is now rolled again, and it's over to our move. Should we double? And it's a handy little thing to remember that is this. Yes, we have a strong position. Yes, look at it, we're 12 pips up in the race. But it's not enough. Double sixes on their own aren't enough to turn the cube straight away. In this situation, it's an error to double. What we need is just a little bit more. So that was the position we're looking at. There's just not enough going on there to make it worth our time doubling. But let's change that position and give a slightly different position here. Now I've put a black checker on the bar, so we're just a little bit further ahead. Up the top left quadrant there, a 2 is going to hit another black checker, so we're threatening a bit more. And suddenly there we would give us that little extra. It's a double and a take. And I suppose that's just the final thing to take away about double six opening replies is just this. Of themselves, they're not enough to cause a cube in the next roll. If we get a tiny bit more, either more threat or more advanced, a good if our follow-up roll is also good, we might soon be in a position to double. But of themselves, they're not enough to double. The minute we put a threat in, we should be looking to turn the cube. So that's it. Jeremy Bagai's 12 rules in all their glory. There's videos and all of them on the Wicklow Backgammon YouTube site. Possibly, I was kind of reviewing this and getting nostalgic for these 12 rules, looking and thinking, well, maybe the ones I've put in a yellow font there, rules 4, 5, 6, and 9, are probably the trickiest ones. Something like double 6 is easy. Double 5s are easy. Double 4s, double 2s, double 1s, hitting blots outside your inner board. There's a bit of kind of to them, but they're kind of intuitive. What you're going to think about doing is probably going to be right. But it's definitely worth kind of plowing on with these. I mentioned early on in one of these videos, there's a great website I use called bgquiz.com, where if you see the left-hand panel there, they give lots of different puzzle situations, and if you click into opening replies, they just give you 445, I think, opening positions you can do. I try to do 20 a day, and when I started doing these videos on the second roll, Jeremy Bagai's rules, my target was to try and get a PR. It gives you it's lovely because it gives you a PR for your moves. My target over 20 moves was to get a PR of under 4. But thanks to Jeremy Bagai and his rules, which really do work, now when I'm doing this, my target is to get a PR of at least under 1. So I'm looking for a 0 point something PR. And we should, as I said before, let's get all the basics right. We don't have to be the most talented backgammon player in the world, but there's no point wasting PR and wasting equity on moves that we can easily learn. So I found this process going through the 12 videos extremely helpful. And I have to say that I said I've had PRs of 0.0 over the 20 moves, just because Jeremy Bagai's rules are kind of in my head and easy to follow. So it's been worth doing. I am now going back. This is chapter 2 of Bill Roberti's book, How to Play the Opening Backgammon. This is what I'm kind of going through. I'm having, wallowed in chapter 2. I'm looking forward to moving into chapter 3 shortly and have videos in chapter 3, 4, 5, and then onto his other books. But that's it for Jeremy Bagai's. I think they're brilliant. I think they're really helpful. 12 rules on how to play the second row.